Chapter 1, The Nivan Chief Hunter. Andoni, San Diego. I looked around the town hall, wondering if peace would ever return to Nivan. Or to Akean, for that matter. True, it was only in the Canelan Palace where the Emperor's carnage occurred, but the news had ways of traveling faster than lightning. By now, the story may have probably spread to the east and the west ends. The lands to the south were a little farther, though, and it would take months before anyone there would hear about what happened weeks ago. As usual, the crowd was noisy. The Nivan men could not keep their mouths shut, and who could blame them? "Do you need me here?" Laren asked. I shook my head. "Not this time. Times are changing. I can help you with what needs to be done." "It's not as simple as that. Our identities may be hanging in the balance, but these men won't change overnight. They still won't listen to you because you are not a member of the town hall." I looked at my wife intently and thanked the gods for the strength that they lent me through this formidable woman. Laren pressed a kiss against my cheek, and with that simple gesture, she told me everything was going to be all right. She left without another word. "Gentlemen, please. The meeting is about to begin." Bombay stood up. "The elder has not been found yet," he said. "Any news from Romeo then?" I asked. "None, Chief Hunter. Romeo's whereabouts, together with the Nivens who went with him, are still unknown. But it doesn't matter at this point, does it?" I felt myself squint as I considered this report. I nodded before opening my mouth again, but I was interrupted. "I don't think the elder is important anymore. If I may say so, you risked your heritage, Andoni. Your entire people." The words were said sternly, but it was not the edge in his tone that hit me. It was the fact that somebody had addressed me by my first name. It is not to be done, especially when there is a town hall meeting. Bombay's eyes rounded. He knew that the man who had spoken had shamed me. I did not know what to say to him. "Pardon me. But it was unacceptable behavior. How can one man risk all of us? What's the assurance that it won't happen again? But we always stand as one. No one can ever break us," someone said. I gritted my teeth. "Please, we can't look back at what happened. What's important is that none of the Akeans have discovered our identities," I said. "Yet. It is not to be done again," Salvatore insisted. "I did not march to Canella to watch the festival. Nor to rescue a woman whom I didn't even know. My daughter's life was in danger, and it is your responsibility to fulfill your duty as a Nivan." "No Nivan dies on foreign soil," I said harshly. Bombay gasped. I did not intend to say those words. They made me sound like a heartless bastard. But there was no turning back. I had to continue the retort. "Yes. It wasn't only to rescue my daughter. It was to ensure the safety of our people. If she had died there, what did you think would have happened? With nobody in the mainland to identify her? With her gray skin? Did it not cross your mind that Akeans would have doubts?" I continued. I was disgusted with myself for the words that had rashly left my mouth. But these were my men. I had to assure them that Nivan was still one family and we should all act together to keep it that way. Salvatore leaned back against his chair. Doubt still clouded his eyes, but he spoke no more after that. For me, his silence was more than enough. Bombay was looking down at his feet. Poor kid. He was still far too young to learn that there was harshness among us Nivens as well. And he was friends with Pyper. "Chief Hunter, if I may speak?" Elder Mayan was raising his right hand. I cocked my eyebrow at him, but I needed the distraction he was offering. I nodded at him in response. Elder Mayan addressed Salvatore afterward. "My good man. Do not doubt the intentions of your Chief Hunter. He is tested. But we are digressing from the real issue here." Suddenly, Salvatore's attention was caught. He was now listening intently to the elder. "Your daughter was in the middle of the presentation, on stage, facing the Emperor. What was the rest of Akean seeing but a boy making a wooden box float?" Isn't it interesting that when the boy did those things, the emperor was so enraged? Elder Mayan paused. I did not understand where the elder was leading to, but I had to admit, it was downright ridiculous. It made no sense at all. Who is this boy? Salvatore asked. Elder Mayan shook his head. I don't know. I did not meet him before that unfortunate event when Elder Tala came here to your town. I don't know the history. But there must be something we could find out about him, Bombay said before blushing furiously for the indignation to speak. He was still unaccustomed to acting like the Nivan man that he already was. He's here. Why don't we ask him? Pindoro said. I shook my head. I had no intention to subject the boy to an interrogation, let alone his humiliation. I was unsure it was necessary, but the men would not stop prodding unless Kino was brought to the town hall. Go fetch Kino, I told Bombay, who immediately stood up and rushed out as though he were still a child, eager to please his parents. The men grew quiet, their eyes showing deep concern. What would happen if the emperor discovers us? What if Elder Tala manages to tell the emperor about us? Will he indeed come after us, kill us? As though someone was reading through my thoughts, I heard a faint voice saying, You have to promise, Chief Hunter. I looked up and met the man's gaze. You have to promise that you won't put your daughter before all of us. I could feel Salvatore's steely gaze piercing through me. Everybody else was waiting for my response. Nobody was harmed. And nobody will be. At that moment, Bombay came in, panting. He doubled over, hands on his knees, and tried his best to catch his breath. Then he raised his head, eyes frantic. They're gone. Bombay rubbed his arms together as though to ease the tension. Then his eyes swept across all of us as he said, The children are all gone.